Today we are talking about the latest offering from OmniScience Capital on Ayodhya and UP. So Vikas, the recent Ram Mandir development is catalyzing the all-round development for UP, Ayodhya, and many other sectors and industries as well.
Right.
And we see it as an investment opportunity with a lot of development growth happening for multiple sectors. Lot of economic activity getting generated because of this, because of spiritual tourism and other factors.
Absolutely.
So let's start with how we approach the whole concept, and what are the economic benefits that we see, which are going to uh, expand as we go along. Let me start with the big, reasonably big number that now we anticipate around 3 lakh visitors per day.
Sure.
With the
Absolutely.
recent development happening in Ayodhya. So how that expands into a great investment opportunity.
So, see, we always, whenever we try to identify a growth factor, that too we want a below the radar growth factor,
Correct.
right? Which
Right.
is not identified yet. And that typically happens when there is a big trigger or an inflection point.
Right.
And that is the inflection point, right? January 22 Pran Pratishtha was the kind of inflection point, which
Right.
is going to attract 300,000
Right.
tourists. Now, out of context, it sounds like a big number, but it becomes more important when you compare it with the population itself.
Right.
The population of Ayodhya is itself somewhere in the range of 300,000.
Right.
Now you're adding 300,000 daily footfalls there.
Right.
That's a crazy jump, right?
Right.
It's like exploding when a typical town grows at 2% max.
Correct. Right.
Or even an urban location might not grow that maximum 5%. Right? So here we are talking 100%. So first, and that translates 300,000 per day translates to 100 million tourists per annum. Okay,
that's a huge number. Right.
It's a huge number. The second question, is there a precedent? Yes, there is a precedent in Varanasi itself, right? Varanasi, the Kashi corridor was created a few years back. So before that, the total footfall for the year used to be like 20 million. And post that, it went up like 20, it went to 40, 60, 80, and now it's nearly 100 million. So it's already happening in another place.
Right.
So it's no wonder that Ayodhya would also attract similar. It might be even more, right? Because that's a much bigger kind of a change which is happening in Ayodhya. And to accommodate so many people, you will have to create infrastructure. Right. Otherwise, the whole thing will crumble. And that's where the Ayodhya Master Plan 2031 comes in. Okay? And that visualizes something like $10 billion, 85,000 crores, to be invested till 2031, and to create all this infrastructure, which is the airports and railway stations and so on.
Exactly. So I think that investment it's very much required to, as you said, support the daily influx of visitors. It also, I think, helps in creating a large employment opportunity for Ayodhya and maybe the neighboring 6-7 districts, and going broader to for UP, and then to broader India as well.
Absolutely.
I think the estimates around the job creation, the new job creation, is anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000.
Absolutely.
At the kind of and in the January itself, I think around that event, there were I guess already 15,000 to 20,000 jobs got created.
Correct.
Already on the investment side, I think Prime Minister has already announced 15,000 crores of investment in December itself last year.
Correct.
And the UP state has already attracted around 49,000 crore of investment
in the global
in the global summit.
Right. True.
So so obviously there is a lot of attraction and a lot of activity. What are the different type of sectors or industries or companies that we believe are going to be benefiting from this, and more important, how to approach from an investment angle?
So absolutely. So I mean, there was a lot of buzz around the time of the Pran Pratishtha on Jan 22nd, right? Or slightly before that and after that, that so-called Ayodhya stocks, and people were just buying some companies which were running the airlines there, or somebody was buying the companies which were going to build 5-star hotels
Hotels, right,
or tent hotels or some other kind of
right,
accommodation. Somebody was buying things like quick service restaurants, like your fast
right,
food restaurants. Now all that is true, all those opportunities exist when there's large number of tourists coming. But as an scientific investor, we always look at, are we getting stocks which are below their intrinsic
interesting
value,
one, right,
right? So you need exposure to that theme.
hmm,
You need to benefit from that theme,
right,
or the growth factor as we call it. But the question is, am I getting at the right price?
right,
And for that, we have to think broader. We
right,
can't be just buying, you know, first order thinking will not help you. So you have to think more of a ecosystem basis.
right,
That okay, if so many people are traveling, and if airlines are not, maybe the balance sheet is not so good,
right,
or the valuation is not so good, then what else can I do?
do, sure,
And so, just as an example, I mean, uh, I'm not giving that you should or shouldn't invest in something, but just as an example, that if I was looking at airlines
hmm,
as the exposure, a major cost component of airline is fuel cost.
right,
Okay. And if I'm getting a possibility is that I can look at that.
right,
Okay. And if that is priced appropriately, that is an opportunity.
sure,
Okay. So something like that.
right,
Or you're looking at restaurants, then maybe I'll rather look at the payment instruments,
right, yeah,
because there'll be so
yeah,
many transactions.
hmm,
And can I benefit from that rather than buying an overvalued quick service restaurant
restaurant,
company?
true, true,
So just to give you a flavor, so those
right,
kind of things. So naturally, food, clothing, shelter,
hmm,
health, right? So things related to
related,
hotels, but you have to broad base.
sure,
Things related to traveling
hmm,
to and from and within
correct,
the city, but broaden out
broader,
and see where the opportunity lies,
sure,
right?
sure. So I think there is a good mix of various sectors and industries already that we could identify.
Absolutely.
So you talked about the ecosystem approach in portfolio creation. I think even for this particular investment theme, the ecosystem approach is important to kind of strengthen the theme itself, because
Absolutely.
it's as you said, Varanasi already is seeing something like 100 million
Absolutely.
visitors,
Yes.
and there are now strong pockets, or a network of these cities which include Ayodhya, Varanasi, Prayagraj, Mathura, and they are
Absolutely.
like kind of equidistant and few hours of travel.
Yeah.
So it opens up like a new concept of a pilgrimage in
Circuit,
UP
like a
circuit, right?
tourist circuit.
And that now becomes like a significantly important
Hmm.
kind of piece of everyone's plan to kind of
Hmm.
uh, go
Capitalize
through
on that.
that and capitalize on that opportunity. So that gives strength to that 3 lakh daily visitor number, or 100 million annual
Absolutely.
footfall.
Absolutely.
And we have seen such things happening earlier, like the Statue of Unity, and
Right.
that has attracted, you created something out of thin air, but now the kind of tourists it attract, and especially including domestic NRI
Absolutely.
visitors, they all make it a point to kind of go there. And so that's a plus, definitely. Now, uh, finally, like, how do you how much of kind of religious sentiment you see here, or it's and how do you approach it, from which angle specifically, is it uh, economic, or is it like a religious angle, that is something that people, it comes to many investors mind.
Right. Right.
So we
Yeah.
can talk about
So
that as well.
yeah. So good question. And I say this is Astha to Alpha.
Okay.
Okay. From
Right,
Astha to Alpha.
right,
So it starts with Astha,
right.
and that's what is driving the tourists there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The spiritualists there, in large numbers, 100 million each
Right,
year kind of numbers,
right.
right? So that very large number is getting attracted,
Mm,
but it's translating into an economic opportunity.
right.
And there's no harm
Mm,
in helping those tourists come there
right.
and provide services to them or
Mm,
products to them,
mm,
and somebody earns money
right,
because it's overall value creating
right,
economy,
right.
right? So it starts from that, but as an investor you have to be very hardcore on
Hmm.
that whenever you consider a growth vector or an opportunity, that it is based on hard facts, it's based on hard
Sure,
economics,
sure.
and it's based on an investment opportunity. So
Right.
there is large growth opportunity, and the whole thing
The
is available at significant discount to intrinsic value.
right, right,
Only if all these things are true, there is alpha,
right.
right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
and for us, alpha, we have Astha in alpha too.
Right, right.
So without
Absolutely.
that, we don't do anything,
Right.
in
Absolutely.
our opinion, in our
Absolutely.
analysis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. I think we will we'll take the viewers, we'll give them a deep dive into the portfolio at in a next episode. But stay tuned and watch this space for more insights on this particular small case, and we'll keep you updated on various actions, activities happening on this front. And thank you so much for dialing in. So always keep in mind that investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing, and also that registration granted by SEBI, membership of BASL, and certification from NISM in no way guarantee performance of the intermediary or provide any assurance of returns to investors.